Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to True Myths, One Lie, the game show in the form of a podcast all about the paranormal, conspiracy theories, myths, urban legends, all of the things in our worlds that we don't fully understand. The way that the game works is I'm going to share 3 stories with you guys, 2 of which are from people who claim that these things have really happened to them, and 1 that I have made up myself. You guys are going to work as a team, both you guys, my guests on the show, and everyone at home, to figure out which is the one that I have made up. Pick me apart, try and discover the lie. Today's first guest is the person who is afraid of his own shadow, so this should be fun. Austin Murphy.
Hi, how are ya?
And my second guest is the person who adjusts his hair every 5 minutes, my brother, Christopher Manella.
Does it look okay right now?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, so guys, today we're going to be talking about shadow people.
No way.
Do you know what that
He's
is?
regretting this
Not
already.
really, no.
All right. So my whole life, I always assumed that shadow people and ghosts were the same thing. Turns out they're not. I've been doing some research the last few days, and ghosts are people who were supposedly at one point living and then died and are stuck here in our world instead of going wherever their soul is supposed to go. Shadow people were never living. They are literally only known for having malicious intent. They have no sort of good positive traits to them. Some of the theories are that shadow people actually are people who are having out-of-body experiences and you're seeing their shadows. So it kind of goes against the fact that they're not nice, but I don't know. That's just one of the theories. Some of the other theories are like people who live in a different universe, and the universe is so close to ours that sometimes they shift over and we can see like
the different dimensions?
Yeah,
The
we can
multiverse.
see exactly. We see their outline.
Big fan.
Okay.
Not when it brings those guys.
So, I mean, that's basically a shadow person. And it's more likely that if you see a figure that looks like a shadow, you're seeing a shadow person and not a ghost. Ghosts often don't appear in the form of humans. A lot of the time they're just invisible. They just throw things, move things. If you see like a shadowy figure, it's probably a shadow person. With that said, where do you guys fall when it comes to, I guess you could call this a ghostly entity in a way. Do you guys buy into this stuff? I already know you've answered this.
100%, yes.
But Austin, what do you...
Yeah, I'm quite the fearful person. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I definitely buy into a lot of this stuff. I can't sleep. My whole childhood, I've had trouble sleeping. Just, I see monsters in movies, and then I wake up in the middle of the night because, clown from it or something.
Austin, how do you feel about sleeping with the door open?
Oh, I actually... Okay, I can't sleep with the door open. I really can't. I can't do it.
Yeah, dude, when me and Austin used to have all of our sleepovers back in middle school and
like
elementary
7th
school, he would not let us do anything unless the door was closed.
Yeah, it's not even just sleeping. It's like everything has to have the door closed.
He's like, the door must be closed. Something will come in and hurt us if it's not.
I don't like it.
And then I remember that one point in time where my room was being redone and the door was taken off the
It's like
hinges.
your whole house, like
Yeah.
every door in the house.
No doors.
The house had no doors because we were redoing everything, and you were forced to sleep in a house with no
I
doors.
was like, I should have skipped this week, yo. Because I used to sleep over every week. It's like, this one I should have took a week off, man. I should have took a week off.
That night was so funny. You were like, I remember the next morning you were like, bro, I just kept staring at the door. I just kept waiting for something to peer
You never
in.
know, man. You gotta be ready. I'm a believer.
Yeah, so basically, once again, I'm gonna tell 3 stories, 2 of which are from people who claim that they have really encountered a shadow person.
2 of them are claimed to be real, one's fake?
One of them is fake.
Oh my god, that means there's 2 instances where shadow people are definitely at least real.
But we don't know if they're 100% real, right? These could be people making them up.
These people could totally be lying.
They're claiming they're real.
Yeah, gotcha.
They're swearing on the internet behind,
And who would lie on the internet?
Yeah, exactly. So are we ready to hear story number 1?
Yes.
I'm ready.
There are 2 girls. They're in their early 20s. They were going on vacation to Orlando, and they're staying in a hotel. They're doing their thing. They're out for the day, and they come home that night, and they're getting ready for bed, so on and so forth. All the normal things you do when you go on vacation. They're finally just chilling in bed when they realize that... So from their beds, they can't see the bathroom, but they can see the little hallway that leads to the bathroom, and in that hallway was a motion sensor light. And the light goes off while they're sitting in their beds.
So it turns on then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the light turns on. Sorry, not off.
And they were not moving, correct?
Yes, they are both in their beds and they see the motion sensor light turn on.
Okay.
And they look over and they're like, oh, that's kind of weird, but they didn't really think anything of it. Just like, could be a spider swung by the motion sensor, whatever.
I said swider.
Yeah, they look over there and Spider-Man is just kind of like chilling in the corner. The motion sensor light, it goes off to just in the middle of the night. It leads you to the bathroom if you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. The light goes off by itself as well, though, after a minute, and they're just like, oh, weird. Yeah. Light goes off again. That's when they're like, okay, that's kind of annoying. They still don't think anything of it. They just think there's an electrical problem. Like, let's go downstairs and say, like, hey, the light keeps going off in our room. One of the girls is like, let's just, like, see if there's anything over there. They walk over to the corner. She kind of, like, peers into the bathroom, and she thinks that she sees, like, a figure. She turns the bathroom light on, and there's nothing there. So she's like, okay, whatever. Let's go into the lobby. So they go out into the hallway and they go to like the little spot in the middle where all the elevators meet. They're on like the 4th floor. They want to get down to, the 1st floor. They press the elevator button. And normally when you press an elevator button, you have to wait for the elevator to come down. But the elevator doors opened immediately when they pressed the button. What was weird was that the elevator wasn't there yet. So the doors just open. And what they instead see are 3 shadowy figures that are moving like from down to up, going up, as if they're in an elevator standing on a surface that they can't see. And they freak out. They take the stairs, they go down to the lobby, and they're like, hey, we are not staying here. And they check out. And that is the last experience that they had there.
Are you serious?
That is the end of story number 1. So you guys have about a minute to discuss this story.
Oh, okay.
Give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think of it.
You go first.
When Anthony said, and it opened immediately, I was like, oh, that's not weird. Like, that's happened to me before.
Yeah, I get
And
lucky
it
sometimes.
was like, and it wasn't there. And there were 3 shadows.
Yeah, right?
I was like, oh, right, that's a little weird.
Okay, well, they could have died because a lot of times I just walk into an elevator thinking that it's going to be there because it's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So that's horrific in the first place. And now you see these shadowy figures. Like, yeah, that's terrifying. On the realness scale, though, if you had to give this a realness 1 to 10, how you feeling? It's not unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like a pretty huge claim. What?
I said unbelievable, so that kind of meant like it's not believable.
Now it is unbelievable. You made it a double negative.
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm not using not. It's believable to an extent.
Yeah, I don't know. that's a huge claim to just be like, yeah, I saw 3 shadowy figures.
Like I'm talking in the comparison, I'm gonna give this one like a passing grade. Like I'd pass it, given the other ones though. Like I hear the other ones.
Yeah. But it was a pretty good story. So if you made that one, Anthony, good job.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
But are you ready to hear story number 2? Someone's scared. Okay.
Bring it.
Story number 2. A man and his fiance are out to eat at a restaurant. And they figure like, oh, like there's that really nice park with the trail right by this restaurant. Why don't we go for a walk real quick?
Is it night?
Mistake number 1.
It's not night yet.
They're married?
They're engaged.
Okay. Does make a difference.
Yeah, I hear that shadow people only show up if you're not yet married.
Jealous. It ain't on the finger yet. I'm just saying.
The shadow person's like another stereotype.
Okay. So they're like, oh, let's go for a nice little walk. They drive over to the trail and they pull into like the parking lot. The fiance immediately has like this look of dread on her face.
Which one? Okay, the one, because the fiance could be either or.
Right. Let me
God, yeah. What is the word then?
Wait, is it fiance both ways? So
Fiance
it's not a
is both ways.
genderized.
No,
Yeah.
fiance is both ways.
I'll just say the woman.
Wait, for the girl or for the boy?
Wife to be.
The wife to be.
Yeah.
It's the girl?
Yeah, I'm the girl.
Fiança.
I'm so done.
It would be fianco if it was the guy.
He's
Oh my
right. He's right.
goodness.
It's masculine.
Well, the woman has this look of dread on her face.
Okay.
All right.
The man has no idea why. He's kind of confused, but he's like, here, let's just go for a walk. And she's hesitant, but she agrees. And they get out and they're walking through the trail. And the whole time, she's like extremely anxious. She does not look like she wants to be there. She's saying things like, I don't like it here. The man can't quite figure out why she's saying these things or feeling this way, but the fact that she's very adamant about it is definitely getting to him, and he's getting a little bit scared. He's like, okay, you're kind of freaking me out here. You know, maybe we can turn around. And she goes, yeah, let's turn around. So they turn around, and as they turn around, the man turns, and he finally sees something that maybe is the reason why his wife is so afraid. And there's just this really tall shadow man. You can't make out their features, but he just knew that it was looking at them. So he turns around and they walk out of the trail. They get back to the car and he goes to his wife and he's like, hey, did you see something? And she goes, I don't want to talk about it until we're out of here. So they drive. They pull up to her house. They start to talk about it. And he goes, what did you see? And she goes, I saw this tall, shadowy thing, but I saw it twice. I saw it once when we pulled up, and then it was gone for a little bit, and then again watching us while we were on the trail. And he goes, yeah, that's the same thing that I saw. And then it gets even weirder. He sees what he thinks to be a person walking behind their car, but mid-walking through the car, in the rearview mirror, the thing just disappears. It's just gone. So he gets out of the car, he checks behind the car, he sees nothing. He gets back in the car, so they're freaking out. And they're like, okay, this thing seems to have followed us, and they just drive. And that is the end of story number 2. Austin looks horrified. For those of you who are only listening, I encourage you, I strongly encourage you to watch the video version. The video version because of Austin's reactions.
How you feel about that one, Dove?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I'm like, Anthony made this one up.
That's your initial reaction, though. Afterwards, was it the same reaction?
Oh, I guess then that would just be a reaction all the time.
Okay. That's your whole way through.
Initial,
okay,
final,
but thoughts on the story.
The story and then the realness. Let's go
the story, I don't know. This one didn't really scare me as much as the last one.
It scares me because I can just see it happening, you know? I just envision myself there. And I didn't like the guy getting out of the car, personally. I wouldn't get out of the car and leave my wife there by herself. I thought he was going to get back in the car and she was going to be gone. You know, I would have been...
Oh my gosh.
I would have been pissed.
Your story is scarier
Actually,
than
saying
the
that
actual...
gave me the chills. Actually, I'm glad she's not gone because that'd make it even scarier. But through and through, wish I didn't hear it because that was very scary.
I would not get out of the car either.
Nope.
Totally with you on that.
Or make her get out with me. Not make her, but I'm like, yo, I'm going to get out if you want to get out with me, or we could just drive. But like, we're not leaving each other's sight because this is horrific.
Right. So we have a quick break coming up soon. But before we get to the break, we're going to play a little mini game that I like to call You Saw What? So let me
saw what?
Let me explain. You know, you hear people say like, oh, I've seen ghosts, I've seen aliens, I've seen Bigfoot, all these things. But then you have some people who come up to you and they're like, dude, I just saw Dog Man. And you're just like, I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me?
Yeah, right. So there are things similar to Dogman. We talked about Dogman a little bit in the last episode.
Yeah.
I know you weren't here for that. It's basically this large creature where the head is a dog, but the torso is a man, and multiple people swear that they've seen this thing. They're like, dude, I saw it too.
Some people actually have a crush on it.
Yeah, there's some people who have feelings for the Dogman.
Really quickly, I just want to make sure I got that right. So Dogman, half dog and half man. I want to make sure I got that right.
Correct.
Got it, okay.
Feelings for the dog man.
Dog man.
So we're not necessarily talking about Dogman today.
No, sir.
But we're going to talk about things that are in a very similar vein where I hear these stories and I'm just like, really? I'm very open to all these things. I buy into everything. But a lot of these I'm skeptical of. So I'm going to pull up 4 creatures that multiple people have all sworn to have seen the same thing. One of these is completely fake. I've made one of them up.
Okay.
So you guys have to, and it's...
Oh, you know who this is our answer of?
What?
Marco Polo.
The sailor?
Yeah, the sailor. He sold around the entire world and all that stuff. He saw these cool animals that the people in Europe had never seen before.
Oh.
And when he finally went back, he would tell these stories of these mystical creatures that no one ever heard of. And they were actually real creatures, but no one had ever seen them. He was describing like a rhinoceros. They had never seen that in Italy at the time. Yeah, it's very cool and interesting. People thought it was like a unicorn, but it's like, no, it's really an animal. It's so cool.
It's kind of a shot in the dark, I'm not gonna lie. These are all ridiculous sounding.
Okay. How many are there?
4.
Oh.
Choice A, the Loveland Frog. It's from Ohio, and the first encounter was from a businessman. He was a salesman. He was just driving home one day, and he saw these 3 creatures that are standing on their 2 hind legs, but they're frogs, okay? They're frogs, and they're just casually conversing with each other. That is option number 1. Option 2, the Hagerman Groundhog. So people claim to have seen these really large holes in the ground. There's multiple of them. They're kind of confused, but when they turn their backs, when they walk away,
They're kind of confused.
well, the people are confused
I thought
by
that
these
was-
holes. Not the groundhog.
The groundhog that was a characteristic of him. He's
Like if you
confused.
walked into a field and you saw really large holes.
Oh, I'd be confused. Nah, I get
Right,
you. I get
yeah.
you. It's so funny though.
But then they realize that there's something popping out of these holes and watching them.
Wow.
And it's this really large groundhog. Like really large. Okay, I can't stress
I
that
have
enough.
it pictured. Don't worry. I have it pictured.
It appears to be harmless. It's just another thing that people are like, I've never seen this thing before. It's huge and it's watching me.
Gotcha.
Option 3.
Real quick, can I ask?
Yeah.
If they were to fight, who'd win?
You mean the groundhog or the people?
Yeah, no, the frog.
Oh.
Would it be all 3 frogs?
Yes.
Well, why don't we make that decision after
All right, that's
all
fair.
4 of
That's
them?
fair. That's fair. Yeah, we'll do a battle royale. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a little Smash Brothers tournament between
Oh,
these 4
right.
creatures.
You're so right.
Option number 3, the New Jersey Mantis. He's always found near bodies of water. Oh, it's very cautious of humans,
A
okay?
praying mantis?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically a really large praying mantis that once again walks on its 2 hind legs, just like the frog. He seems to know that people are afraid when they run into him because he's cautious of them instead of like he's like, oh no,
So nice.
people, and he
Yeah.
tries to let them not see him.
New Jersey, man, this monster sucks. Did I do
Like,
that?
if I had to say, I think so far,
Wait, hold on. For the audio viewers, I'm Austin just forced a fist bump upon me.
Forced.
I think so far, the New Jersey Mantis would lose the Battle Royale.
Yeah,
He also
that
doesn't
looked
seem
good.
like he's from New Jersey.
He's
That does not
way
have
too
character-
nice.
Way too nice.
He's
no
way
way.
too
It does
nice.
not fit in there.
Okay, option 4, the Ohio Grassman. This thing, it's this really large-looking beast. Kind of looks a little bit like Bigfoot, 7 feet tall. It also, from the people who swear that they've seen this thing, they claim that it smells. Like it reeks really bad.
A grass man?
Yeah, they call it the Grassman because it makes structures out of grass. Like it takes grass and it builds
Oh, so
things
it's
out
not,
of
like
it.
it's not like a ghillie suit, right?
It's not like a ghillie suit,
Okay.
but it does. It kind of looks like a Bigfoot sort of thing. If you were to picture Bigfoot in your head,
Yeah, Sasquatch.
it's very similar. Option 1, Loveland Frog. Option 2, the Hagerman Groundhog. Option 3,
I got mine.
New Jersey Mantis. Option 4, Ohio Grassman. Which one is the one that's
Number
fake?
5.
Do we deliberate or are we on our own?
You guys can talk to each other. No, yeah, you're a team. You're a team.
Number 5?
No. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's 2 or 3.
I think it's number 3.
I think yeah.
Anthony would not make one from Ohio, having there already be one from Ohio, so that gets rid of number 1, number 4.
Yeah, that's her.
The mantis, that's nice to people. That lives near water. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, so I agree with
Get
that.
out of here with that.
But this is my thing though with this mole guy, right?
The mole guy.
Yeah, the mole guy
I think
makes me
he's pretty cool.
I think he's really cool, but I think it reminds me of a character from Courage the Cowardly Dog, which is what I think Anthony would have modeled this mole guy after. It's like this ugly little monster mole. He gets kind of big and he's like, he doesn't really attack
Austin.
anybody. He actually eats some plums and he gets really nice.
You're not even gonna believe me, but I also thought courage.
No way.
I've done this. I've already done this on another episode of the podcast where someone said something that I was thinking. So everyone's gonna just think I'm lying. But I was like, that sounds like a courage character, but he seems too chill to be a courage character.
Yeah, he doesn't cause enough problems. I'll go with 3. I'll go with 3, but 2 is my second best if I'm gonna put
All
that
right,
out there.
we're gonna go with 3.
So you're going with the New Jersey Mantis?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, he didn't make that one. No.
What just happened?
I can tell. I know the look Anthony makes when I'm wrong.
Do you want to change your answer?
Do
Nah,
it.
nah, say it. I feel like I think we're right. We're
Just
right.
hit me.
Dude, you should have went with Austin.
Oh, was it really?
Yep.
When Anthony does it's wrong. You're wrong. I can.
Did you model that after the Courage the Cowardly Dog mole
I
or not?
actually didn't, but as soon as you said it, I was maybe subconsciously I did.
Yeah.
Because you're so
Like
right.
it fits, right? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it just fit immediately when I heard that. I was
Yes,
like, yo,
you're
I can't stop
so
thinking
right.
about that mole-looking monster. He's pretty cool too. I like him.
Anyway, we are going to take a quick break and then we will be right back. Okay, this is for all the men out there, all the boys listening, okay? Have you ever been shaving your body and then the blade nicks you in one of your more sensitive spots? Yeah, well, that's where today's sponsor, Manscaped, comes into play. Manscaped offers the best men's below-the-waist trimmer for all of your grooming needs. And maybe you've heard of them before, but guess what? They just launched the Lawnmower 4.0. Their brand new, sleek, and optimized trimmer makes shaving easier than ever before. Manscaped is perfect for me because, as many of you have pointed out in my comments, I'm a hairy guy. I've had countless people online and in my personal life, including my family, tell me that I need to shave. Yeah. I'm looking at you, Grandma. I mean, it's my chest, my legs, everything. I can't even wear shorts during the summertime without somebody saying something. But thanks to their new trimmers, I am hairy no more. Their new trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce accidents using skin-safe technology. There's also a little LED spotlight that you can turn on and off to help you see what you're doing. Now you can also customize your trim with 4 different sized guard lengths. Not to mention, the 4.0's battery lasts longer and it's got wireless charging. Guys, if you've been shaving your face with the same trimmer that you've been using to shave the rest of your body, I think it's time to fix that. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code TrueMyths at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code TrueMyths. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring today's episode. And we are back. Okay, so story number 3.
Okay.
There are 3 friends hanging out, all female. They live in an apartment. They're in one of the girls' apartments. And one of the girls realizes, oh, I left my phone outside by the park where we were just hanging out prior.
Wait, what year is this? No one my age leaves their phone behind.
He's right. These Zoomers, Joe.
It's in hand all the time.
Well,
It would have been funny if you picked it up.
meanwhile, just before we started this podcast, Christopher needed me to call his phone because he lost it.
I was here for that.
Oh.
I saw that. Can confirm.
Yikes, looks bad.
It looks bad for the Zoomers.
You give Zoomers a bad name.
give Zoomers a bad name.
Jovi reference.
Shout out to Larry.
I'm embarrassed.
So anyway, girl realizes she left her phone out by the swings. There's a little park outside of the apartment. And the way that their apartment complex is set up is that it goes by like there's, building 1, building 2, building 3, building 4, building 5. And they're all separate parking lots, basically. There's like a little bit of a gap in between each one. You have to walk to each one. That's important for later. They go outside to the park behind their building, which is building 1. It's fairly laid out. It's fairly dark. She sees her phone. She's reaching for it over by the swing. That's when she just gets this gut-wrenching feeling in her stomach. And she just hears her other friend say, "What do you want from us?" Which she thought was a weird thing. If there's just another person hanging out at the park, why would you say that, right? But the girl looks up.
It's nighttime? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Gotcha.
It's sun setting.
Dusk.
Yeah, dusk. Mm-hmm. She looks up and she sees this shadowy figure of a man, but it's not just standing there, it's walking towards them.
Oh, so all the girls went outside, though?
Only 2 of the 3.
Okay.
This thing is walking towards them, and the girl reaching for her phone is frozen at this point. She can't move. The only thing that she knows how to do at this point is scream. And she just lets out this blood-curdling scream. Her friend grabs her arm, and they sprint out of there. They sprint into their apartment building. They get into the apartment, and they realize that they're not in apartment 1.
Oh, no.
They're somehow in apartment 4, and they have no idea how that could have happened because that's the farthest one away. This thing is making us walk back through that same area to get back to our apartment. So they have to cross through there again, and the thing is still there staring at them. They're screaming. They run back into what they think is building 1. Turns out they're now in building 3. And at this point,
time to live in building 3.
Yeah, right? No mi piace.
Let's just stay here.
At this point, they're basically just sprinting into random buildings. They're doing whatever they can, and they eventually somehow end up in their actual building. The girl says to her friend, what just happened out there? And the girl who was frozen, and who was the one who was grabbing for her phone, she says, and she has no idea why these words came out of her mouth, but immediately she just starts saying, "He's been following me my whole life, and he finally found me." And she has no idea why she said that. They go back to the apartment, and they don't see this thing again, but pretty creepy. That is the end of story number 3.
Anthony just drops that story outside, and he's like, yeah, pretty creepy.
My Lanta. Oh, God. How do you feel?
Scared. Definitely the scariest story.
I think that was the scariest story.
100%.
I actually, can I put myself in that shoe?
Yeah, you're good at doing that.
I wish I wasn't. And I'm scared. And then But then it's like, the reason why I think it's not less scary, but like the other ones, it's so like within your grasp. You know what I mean? It's like this monster, elevator door opens up, nobody's there, the monsters come through. Oh, wow, that's scary, but it's a monster, right? This other one, the monster's following them, and then they drive away, the monster just disappears, you follow them. That's scary. This one, you're running into random buildings, and it's not even the right building anymore. He's like reality warping almost. You know what I mean?
Amnesia.
So it's
video
like,
game.
at that point, it's like, it's very scary, but it's scary because it's unwinnable. You know what I mean? The other ones, it feels like there's a way out. Just keep driving. Just leave the hotel. This one is like, yeah, I'm dead. Like, I'm just going to give up now. I'm going to give up. I'm dead. Like, that's just horrifying, man.
I thought either to be like, and they're in building 4, which doesn't exist.
I thought he said it was his house.
Before you guys make your final decision, I am going to recap the 3 stories real quick. Story number 1, girls in a hotel. Motion sensor light goes off. They think they see something in the corner. They go down to the lobby, and they see 3 shadowy figures in the space where the elevator should be.
Loving frogs.
Floating up. No, they did not see the frog.
Really, so
Story number 2, people are going for a walk on a trail. They see a shadowy figure staring them down. They get out of there. The thing seems to have followed them because they see a figure walking around their car. Story number 3, girl leaves her phone outside, goes outside to grab it, sees a figure walking towards her, has a lot of trouble getting back into her apartment. You guys now have some time to discuss and make your final decisions. Go.
I've ruled out the third one. I think the third one, when you look at it like this, ready? I think when we say that a story was created by Anthony, we're like saying, you know, Anthony's trying to dupe us right now. And I think the third one was just so good. You know what I mean? I don't want to even make fun of it. Because I feel like I'm slighting it if I say that Anthony made it. Even though Anthony's a great storyteller, that was just like, I'm terrified. You know what I mean? In those first 2, he's only human. I think it has to be one of the first 2, man.
I'm down for that.
But the way you make it seem, though, now the third one, and I just said it actually, as human as Anthony is, we're all human. And none of us could do what Anthony does. So he might have made the third one.
Thanks, Austin.
So really, it could be all 3 of them.
I'm back to square one.
Oh my god, I don't know. I never know.
First one, he did ad-lib a little, I'm not gonna lie. He brought in that little spider detail, and he knows I like Spider-Man. I think that also could have to do with him making it up. He's just like, oh, the spider, might have swung past the light.
Which one was it that he went in the most detail for the Shadow Man?
Or the first one.
Was it the first one?
Or the first one.
He was trying to make it sound really believable. It was the only time he described what the Shadow Man
Yeah, it
looked
was
like.
all 3 of them. They was floating up. It was like the elevator. It was like the reverse world. By the way, that's also like reality warping now that I mention it. And that's kind of scary now that I think of it. I'm going with the first one. Lock it in! Lock it in!
What? That's who?
Sorry. Okay, no. Don't lock it in yet. Let's agree. I'm going with the first one.
Let's go with the first one.
Lock it in!
Lock it in!
Okay,
Is it?
you guys are locking in. Story number 1.
Yeah.
You guys got it right!
No way.
Yes!
No way.
Yes!
Austin, we did it! Yes!
Let's go! I'm so hyped. Oh.
This
so
is the
stressed.
dream team right
Really?
here.
Oh, man. We did
I
it.
literally,
Oh, I can lay down happily.
I even started to get annoyed thinking that my game was impossible.
He's like, dude, it's a 33% chance of guessing it. How's no one gotten it yet?
Whoa.
That was scary. I didn't
did
think
it.
he'd say. I didn't think he was gonna say we got it right.
What was the logic that we used to get that one?
The most detail he went
That
into
was
was with the
me.
shadow. Yeah, that was you. And I really didn't want to trust you because last time you were wrong, but I trusted you again.
I was wrong every other time, Austin.
It's
Except for once,
funny.
actually.
It's so funny because I don't think I actually did go into more
I don't
detail
think
about
so.
what the
Definitely
shadow
did.
I
looks
honestly
like.
don't think you did.
I thought you
I think
did.
it was the elevator world that made it different for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the detail
all
that
I
got
said
me.
was 3 shadowy figures going up in an elevator.
Okay. Well, you said something in that first story. I was like, no, he's
When
trying to make this one seem
When I watched the playback, we'll
believable.
find it.
When you said the spider thing, you nailed it. That was an ad
That too.
lib. That was not in the plan. I did that in the spot, but at the end of the day, that means that stories 2 and 3 are supposedly real.
Oh, those are the scarier
my.
ones too, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, when I read story number 3 with the swings, that was horrifying.
How is that real?
That is
No.
the creepiest thing.
How is that real?
There is even more to that story that I left out. Apparently,
Maybe we should leave it that way.
Yeah, right?
no, I think it's fun.
Okay.
Apparently, the main girl who was reaching for her phone, that night when they all got back to the apartment, her and her friends, for whatever reason, got into this huge fight. And they beat each other up, and the
What?
third friend called the police on them, and they both got arrested. And she never told her mother what happens the rest of that night that she got arrested, but months later, her mom said, you know, when I was pregnant with your brother, I actually kept having this recurring nightmare of the baby ripping himself out of my stomach, and I would wake up from this nightmare and I'd see a shadow man in the corner of the room pointing at my stomach saying, that's not yours. That baby does not belong to you.
Okay.
And the baby has been supposedly cursed
I just got chills.
ever since.
I mean, I've been had chills, and I think
That-
you were right. He didn't have to say that.
Yeah, so needless to say, I'm afraid of shadow men.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening anywhere where podcasts are available, please give this a rating and review. It really helps us up. Because we're on the ground. We all fell down, and it'll really help us up. But it'll also really help us out. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast for free so you're notified when we post new episodes. For those of you watching the video version, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment letting us know what you thought, and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when we post new episodes. We'll also see you on Friday with a brand new comedy skit. And lastly, if you guys have stories of your own, something that has happened to you, or even if you have a crazy story that's fake, that is completely made up, I can use it as the lie. So send all of your stories my way. Send them to truemythsonlie@gmail.com, or you can send them in to my Instagram at Culture35, whatever works for you. That's about it. Guys, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on being the first team to actually win. I was doing it too.
Let's go.
For those listening, we
just
all
in sync.
made praying hands at the same time.
I was bowing.
I'm so
for
happy
having me. Thank you,
that we
Sunset.
won.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you again on Friday with a brand new comedy skit, and next Tuesday with a brand new episode of True Myths, One Lie. Bye, guys.